all the stuff they wedged up there.
We should probably knock off because we're gonna start doing really stupid stuff pretty soon. Hello friends, and welcome back to yet another day of restoring our sill plate here on our 140-ish year old house here in Nova Scotia. If you missed the first 2 days, those will be, in the video here. It was a good time. We've had lots of adventures. We've learned a lot about how our house was constructed, for better and for worse. And it is another lovely morning here. We took yesterday off to go do some fun Halloween activities. We watched some floating witches. It was a good time all around. If you want to watch that video, it's going to be here too. But we are back to work today. It is promising to be another gorgeous day, even though it is currently only 12 degrees, so a little bit nippy in the morning. But we are getting an early start because the goal is to finish changing out the sill plate, or at least to just get the new sill plate in by the end of the day today. So if you need a little reminder on where we're at, this is where we're standing. That in the corner there, that's our new sill plate. It is just temporarily sitting there, keeping the house up while we left and stopped work yesterday, but it will be coming back out. We got a nice little half lap in there, and we are going to be doing the same, replacing this section of the sill plate here, that whole run. This whole thing should be new by the end of the day today, if we are lucky. So if you want to take a look, the first thing that I think we're going to do today is we're going to be going in and trimming off all of these weird little shims that are here and getting these uprights all sistered, all squared away, because as you can see, almost all of them have a problem. So like this one, we've just got this lovely floating section of beam here. Same with this one. This one's probably coming completely out. It is actually very loose. And then we've got some fun things going on, like this little shim down here and that very large shim down there. So we're going to be, trimming this off here and just sistering them all because as you can see, our foundation underneath, at least at this point, it's definitely not level and it's not incredibly stable. So we can't just plunk the new sill plate down where the old one is. Our old one is actually currently floating. There we go. So instead of using the foundation as our reference point for the new sill, we're actually going to have to use the bottoms of all these uprights as our point of reference. So we need to get those all squared away. If that doesn't make sense, it will make sense soon. But then once we've got all of these squared away, we can use the bottom of them as our reference point for the new sill. That's what we're going to be tackling today, so wish us luck. Hopefully by the end of today we will have a new sill plate installed and our house can actually have somewhere to rest. That is one beefy nail. Wow. Pretty nice cut though, if I do say so myself. So this is going to be super difficult to cut through because it's too big. It's bigger than my blade and it's pretty loose.
Just take it off.
Yeah, just take it off and sister. Woohoo! Last week you watched Kanel get a new bed, but fancy beds are not limited to dogs in this house because this week I'm upgrading my own sleep setup with the Japanese Joinery Bed by this week's sponsor, FlexiSpot. It's highly customizable with 2 different colors and add-ons like a headboard, nightstands, and mattress for a fully personalized setup. The bed is crafted from a hardwood known for its strength, and the beauty of the Japanese joinery style is that this bed frame can be assembled in just 10 minutes without excessive screws or heavy power tools because all you have to do is interlock the pieces. We've already seen how masterful joinery has held my house together for over 100 years, and the same principles are behind the construction of this bed. The time-honored techniques create a frame that's incredibly stable, which also means it's incredibly quiet, making for restful nights no matter how much you toss and turn. Plus, my own favorite feature is the inwardly recessed legs that allow the frame to fit snugly against the wall. So if you are in the market for a durable, well-crafted, and customizable bed frame, give FlexiSpot's Japanese Joinery Bed a try. You can click the link in the description and use my exclusive code for an instant discount.
Okay, things are coming along. We've gotten both of these 2 uprights are sistered in. They're sistered on the interior because they're also supporting the header for the window. This one is basically good to go. This one we are still missing, as you can see, that little chunk right there, but we're gonna fill that in after we've changed the sill plate. So now we're just using this new point right here. That's our reference point. This will get patched in after the sill has been changed. And now we are just gonna work on this corner right here because first of all, this upright is damaged and rotten up until right about here. You can kind of see on the side, but more importantly we also need access to that massive beam right there. That is what is supporting the whole corner of the house, and as you can see, it is in very rough shape again due to the lack of gutters and the rain just bouncing up in here and eating away at it for decades and decades. So we are going to tackle that, get that in much better shape so that it sits nice and firmly on our new sill plate. And then we'll be much closer to the moment where we can finally change this out. What a pretty dog. Waiting not so patiently. Also, no, we are not using screws to permanently sister these joists in. We are 98.567% sure that these are exactly in the right place, but on the small tiny off chance that they aren't, instead of throwing like 30 nails in here right away, we're gonna just use a couple screws per sister, and then once we've put the sill plate in, made sure everything is kosher, then we're gonna go back in and replace the screws with nails. Actually looks like really pretty good wood up that high anyway.
Yeah.
It's really just the bottom. Pretty colors! So we are finally at the moment where we can start taking out the old sill plate. So we're just gonna go through, chop off all of the nails that are gonna be holding the uprights to the sill plate, and then we should just be able to slide it out. Or it might just fall out at this point, honestly. It's in a pretty sad state. Look at how thin it is here. It's like almost paper thin. Eep-a-doop! It's so tiny. It did a good job holding up our house. But now I'm glad it's gone. Now our house is just floating. Okay, we're gonna put a pin in it for a second because while the tide may wait for no man, the tide does not wait for unexercised corgos. So we're gonna let my house float for a little bit longer
we're gonna go take a walk, exercise the dog, and because it is a gorgeous fall day with some beautiful autumn colors, you're coming with us. And because it is almost Halloween, we're gonna go somewhere a little bit unusual, a little bit spooky, but one of my absolute favorite places to take a walk, to exercise the dog, and it's really beautiful, really tranquil, so let's go. It is a bit of an unorthodox place to take the dog for a walk. I fully acknowledge that, but it's not an active graveyard anymore. It's a historic graveyard, and it's actually pretty much abandoned. So people here were born, like the years that I'm seeing on the headstones, 1840s, 1860s. The newest date that I've seen on a headstone was 1890s. So nobody is actively mourning or grieving. We're not interrupting any of that. And actually, yeah, like I said, it's pretty much abandoned. I have never crossed another person here in the cemetery, and it's actually like falling into a state of disrepair. There are headstones that are knocked over, there are tree branches and logs that have been blown over in heavy storms and that are just laying here. So I do actually try to leave the place better than I found it, as sort of a thank you or a public service, like just keep this place that I enjoy so much nicer than when I found it. This is actually a habit that I picked up when we were in Copenhagen, because when we were there, the largest, most popular, feels weird to call a graveyard popular, but it is the largest cemetery, and it is right smack in the middle of the city, and it is actually a public park. It is not at all unusual on a nice summer day to see the park full of people with picnics and blankets, their friends, sometimes quiet music or playing games like soccer, that kind of stuff. There are parts of it that are still active graveyards, and you are supposed to be quieter and more respectful in those sections, but most of it is very historical, and it is just jam-packed with people. We have hung out many times, said hello to Hans Christian Andersen, played fetch, many a game of fetch in that graveyard. So ever since then, kind of made me rethink how I see graveyards. Also, it's very fitting, just considering that it's almost Halloween.
William Fraser.
There's probably 200 Frasers in this cemetery. All right, friends, mission accomplished. Dog is exercised. Now it's time to get back to my floating house.
All the stuff they wedged up there.
Yeah.
Temporary shims, and oh wow,
Sill plate that became
a
earth.
root ball.
And to dust we go back.
Wow.
Yeah, all those little shimmy shimmy.
Cocoa puff.
This we have an idea because we can see the bottom of the other sill plate here.
Yep.
what's left is in okay shape, honestly.
Yeah, but look at where it came from.
That's very thin for a sill plate. A little bit more. There we go. That's way better. Yeah. Looks good.
That's relative, but...
Hope you can hear me over the saw also, in case you couldn't tell. We actually pulled out those two uprights all together. They're sitting over there. We can still use them as reference points, but we also have 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 good reference points. That beam is not valid as a reference point. We will be fixing that after the sill plate is in. And actually, technically, that's a reference point too, but it's only going to be applicable for this guy. It's been an adventure, friends. We are learning as we go.
Can set it down if you need to.
We are right on the cusp of that moment where we should probably knock off because we're going to start doing really stupid stuff pretty soon. But we've discussed it and we are so close to kind of finishing up, like getting to a really good canal. Oh my god. Getting to a really good stopping point for the evening. We're going to try and push through. I have turned on the oven. It is preheating. I will throw dinner in. So hopefully as soon as we tie it up, we're going to be able to knock off and like eat instantly. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. I want food ASAP. So cross your fingers for us that we're gonna be able to finish this up and that we don't make any really big stupid mistakes in the meantime. Feed me!
Now how to lift it, probably just with a...
Should I wedge something under and like...
Yeah, just a piece of... Yep. Could be worse.
With the sill plate attached to the remaining uprights, we now had a reference point for either sistering or replacing all of the uprights that we'd taken out. Ma'am, you did not pick the best spot. Also, you are not wearing any personal protective equipment. Where is your safety helmet? Where are your goggles? I don't see any dust mask.
It's pretty hard to get an 8-eye goggle.
Give me a sec just to see if this fits. I suspect it's gonna be too tall. Oh, not bad though. Look at that. It misses like a millimeter. So we're fast approaching that point in the evening where the wind starts to cut in and I can't talk for more than 2 seconds without it interrupting me. And now we wait.
Bonne fille, roll over. Recule.